some stops, and offensively being able to move the ball, having some big runs. It's good to see some big runs in the run game with Pickett and J.D. Mark today, so that's going to help out as far as taking some pressure off Shador.
Coach, let's start off about those halftime adjustments.
Yes.
A little bit of a role reversal, taking a look at Texas Southern. We kind of looked at them as being a passing team, but they were able to run the ball for the first time on this defense.
Well, I think good job on them as far as, everything we looked at as far as film-wise. You saw they put up 59 points against Pine Bluff, and they threw the ball very well. They had opportunities, and we want to try to make sure that the defense that we have, we felt like we can get some pressure on the quarterback and then just play good defense in the secondary. But they came out with a great game plan as far as with almost like a veer option, and we just didn't do a good job as far as taking the running back.
Talk about the prowess of this coaching staff to make those in-game adjustments.
I mean, it just takes trust. I think Coach Prime installed that in us. He believed in us, and we believe in each other. It's just communication. And Coach DT, he's a veteran guy. Him and Coach Weeks worked together for a very long time. Coach Hart and Coach Matthews very smart and sharp guys, and they do a good job as far as understanding where they need to do as far as they fit. So they did a great job of making adjustments.
All right, Coach. Big game for Pickett, as you said. Was that part of the game plan to get him some more touches? I know that's the most he's had in a while.
Yeah, well, we knew it was getting Dimitri back up front, number 72, to give us some push, and we knew we had to establish a run game. The things that we wanted to do run game-wise with our zone scheme, it fits Pickett as far as the patience, being behind the double teams and then finding the crease. He's a hard guy to bring down in the secondary, so we wanted to add that element to it and just give Santee and JD an opportunity to be that change-up guy, to be the home run guys and give Pickett a blow here and there. But we knew coming into this game he had to be the workhorse, to get it going, get the tough yards, the 4 yards on first down, and he did a good job as far as establishing that for us. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
What have these 3 weeks been like with you in charge while Coach Prime's been out?
It's been, somewhat, I wouldn't say challenging. When you're missing a guy like Coach Prime, his voice and things, how you do things, it kind of make you kind of slightly behind the 8 ball a little, because you want to make sure, one, you don't disappoint him. And he's a guy that's going to be always involved, hold you very accountable. I just got a text message just now saying how proud he is of the team. So he's always watching. But these past 3 weeks, when he's here, his voice is just different, and everything just falls in line. And for us as a staff, now it's like it takes a little bit of time to get things lined up, but we got to do a better job as far as just the off the field things, the things how we do. We're very particular on the small things, how the socks and how we dress, and everyone has to be in line. And we're kind of like drifting a little from that, and as a staff, and it starts with me, we got to get that fixed. Because when Prime is here, it don't happen.
How do you go about trying to fix that?
Well, we just got to take care of our areas, and the message every week: take care of your position. Even though I'm the interim head coach, I still have a running back position to hold accountable. So it starts there. So you have to take care of your room, take care of your position, hold those guys accountable, and then continue to create those leaders. And we always try to encourage our guys to police themselves, and we're just not there yet. We just don't have those natural leaders, so we're trying to create guys to force them in those positions.
Have you had to change much of your daily routine as a coach?
No, because Coach Prime, from the very beginning, like I said before, I've been a head coach before, but I learned so much from Coach Prime, just how he do things, just his operation, how he think. He's very unorthodox when he do things, but it tends to work. Whatever he put his hands on, he believes in it. He just instilled that encouragement in you. And for me, it just doing what I always do. We always sit down every morning when he's present in the office and go over the schedule along with Latoya. We do a good job as far as the communication, and we know what he wants. So it's like we're not going to change the blueprints. We're not going to deviate from what he believes in. And he always called every morning, every night, and make sure that we're on point. So these past 3 weeks, even though he's not presently there, yes, he's missed, but we know what he wants, and we just try to make sure from scheduling, from holding our guys accountable, going to study hall, class, black socks, all the small things, all the small details. We try to make sure all those things will stay in place.
The theme for the week, Coach, was discipline. And what you were harping on during the team meetings, is that they remember what you do in November.
Yes.
So now you want to know in November, getting ready to go to a road game and really push for this SWAC championship. What are some things you want to address discipline-wise this week, and what's going to be the theme going over into preparation for Southern?
Just situational stuff. just being disciplined. We knew this team, their biggest thing is try to draw you off sides and get those cheap yardage to get them going. And early in the game, we kind of didn't have success in that, but we got better as far as watching the ball and those things that we harped on. So just a small things as far as being disciplined on defense, getting to the ball, things of that nature. On offense, just the silly offsides penalty, get behind the chains. But it's just the small things. It's discipline. And off the field also, we want to try to make sure you guys are on time to meetings, on time as far as getting on the bus. And so we saw some of those things happen off the field. And we just big advocates that if you're not disciplined off the football field, then it's going to catch up with you on the football field. And that's something that we had to acknowledge that we wasn't doing a good job as far as off the field, guys being on time. Guys, the meeting started at 7 with Coach Prime. If you're there at 6:50, you're late. So as coaches, once again, we got to uphold those standards. And so that's the discipline part that we always talk about. We talk about the self-discipline. Make sure you're disciplined. Police yourself before you try to lead others.
We talked post game, and you mentioned your HBCU coaching experience, and we're about to go on the road in a hostile HBCU environment. What are you going to be calling on from your experience to share with the staff and the players about that trip down to Baton Rouge?
We always talked about my experience being with coaches that I coach with. Being a head coach, you always got to pack your defense and great special teams when you go into someone's environment. That's the attitude that you got to establish. You got to go in there with big plays and take the air out of the stadium. It was good to come see that we had our first drive, but it's been a while. We went down our first drive and got points. And in that type of environment, that has to happen. Defense, you got to get the 3 and outs. You got to be disciplined in the air. You're not going to get the calls. Some calls, it could have went either way here today, but you're not going to get those calls down in Baton Rouge, and we understand that. So it goes back to being disciplined, staying focused, and making sure we just don't get caught up as far as getting too high too early, and just stay even killed like big boss man Coach Brian.
Kurt? Coach, your D-line looks like they're getting after it.
Yes, they are.
What are you seeing from those guys?
Consistency, team ball. I see that they're not playing the individual game; they're playing together with the twist game, and it's falling in their lap. So they're very well coached up. Coach Weeks does a great job as far as the techniques and the fundamentals, and we got great guys up front. And Texas Southern, I think they saw that, and I think they created their game plan to change up as far as from the passing game. It's hard if you got 5 great linemen, you got a shot, but it's hard to protect the guys that we have up front, and we know that, and we use that to our advantage.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.